All right, today we're jumping into one of the most chilling narratives out there, a ghost story. We're going to tear this thing apart and really see what makes it tick. The rules, the players, and the awful, tragic cycle that sits right at the very heart of it. Let's get into it. So, it all kicks off with this impossible little paradox. It's a statement that says ghosts are powerless, but it ends with a man's death. So, how does that even work? Well, that single line, that's our key to unlocking the whole story. And it's a story that feels less like a story and more like a game.
And yeah, it's a game, but it's one you absolutely cannot win. The board is this haunted house. The pieces are the ghosts of everyone who's died there. And our main character, David Williams? Well, he's already lost before he even knows he's playing.
And that's the big question, right? If ghosts can't physically hurt you, how did David end up dead? To figure that out, we've got to look past all the jump scares and really dig into the mechanics of how this haunting works. Because what happened to David wasn't random. No way. This was engineered.
Every game needs an engine, a fuel source. And in this story, the engine runs on one thing and one thing only: a deep, powerful, and never-ending cycle of revenge.
So let's talk about our protagonist, David. You have to understand, he's not just some random dude pulled into this. The man is just hollowed out by grief. His wife died 18 months ago. He just buried his son, Jason, this morning. He is emotionally shattered, which makes him the absolute perfect target for what's about to happen.
And this is where the game truly begins. Right after his son's funeral, he's just trying to get a second to himself, and he sees it. Something totally impossible, a horrific murder out in a field. But here's the thing. This isn't some random crime he just stumbled upon. This was a show, and he was the only one in the audience.
And get this, the attack isn't even physical. The killer taunts him from all the way across the field, but the voice is inside David's head. This isn't just about murder. This is the opening shot in a psychological war.
The story actually has a word for this. It's called WILP. You can think of it like fate on steroids. It's this idea that what happened to David, him being in that exact spot to see that murder, wasn't a coincidence at all. He was guided there, pulled into this pre-written tragedy like a puppet on a string.
Okay, so if David's a pawn in this twisted game, what are the rules? And this, for me, is where things get really fascinating. The story lays out a very specific, unbreakable set of laws for how its supernatural world actually works.
It turns out, for a full-blown haunting to kick off, you need these 4 things to click into place perfectly. You need the right place, the right person, the right emotional state or point, and the exact right time. It's the reason these events are supposed to be so rare, but when they do line up, the power is just immense.
And if you want to see that power in action, look no further than the mansion itself. In reality, it's a ruin, a burnt-out shell. But when the haunting is in full swing, it manifests as this pristine, impossible building. It's not just a house that's haunted. The house is the haunting. It's a physical projection of all that power.
And here it is. The story's own ghost hunters confirmed the #1 rule of the game. The real threat isn't a ghost touching you. The real threat is what a ghost can make you do to yourself.
Now you gotta remember, this whole nightmare didn't start with David, and he's not the only player. He's literally surrounded by the ghosts of all the past victims, a whole roster of spirits who are all trapped in the exact same cycle.
If you look back at the history of this place, you see this absolutely tragic pattern emerge. Every single ghost here was a victim first, and their ghostly form is like a permanent echo of how they died. They're all bound to this location, and now they're all unwilling pieces in the game, helping to set the trap for the next person in line. It's brutal.
Which brings us right back to our central question. Now that we know the rules and we've met the players, how did the ghosts finally deliver that fatal checkmate? So the ghost hunters, they think they're in control. They set up a seance, but the spirits are playing chess while they're playing checkers. Instead of summoning some random ghost, they possess one of the ghost hunters themselves, the psychic, Molly, and turn their own methods right back against them.
And here it is, the first part of the final trap. The voice that speaks from Molly's mouth. It's David's son, Jason. His son that he just buried that morning. See, they aren't just trying to scare him anymore. They are weaponizing his deepest, most raw grief against him. But for a second, David has this moment of clarity. He thinks he's figured it out. He remembers the 4 rules: place, person, point, and time. He realizes the ghosts are powerful, but only for a limited window. He thinks, okay, if I can just wait them out, I can survive this. He thinks he's found the loophole.
But then the ghosts reveal the final horrifying twist. They confirm it. They say, you're right, we are bound by time, and we can't hurt you. But the one behind you? Well, that's a different story.
And he has to look. He can't help it. Fear, hope, whatever it is, it makes him turn.
And at the end of the dark, rotting hall, he sees him, the ghost of his son Jason. It's the ultimate psychological weapon.
And he's so startled, he just stumbles backward, trips at the top of the stairs. The rotten banister gives way, and he falls. The ghosts never touched him. They did exactly what they said they would. They made him jump.
And in the aftermath, when his body is found in the wreckage, there's only one thing nearby: a single tarot card, the Healer, which is just the most viciously ironic final touch in a story that has absolutely no healing in it.
So this leaves us with one last, really haunting thought. David's death wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. His spirit, now filled with its own rage and grief, has just become the newest piece on the board. The game is reset, and the cycle is just waiting for its next player.